Hello, good day, guys. My name is Nick, technical analyst with SuperForex. Today, we shall be looking at the technical analysis on the currency pair, Euro GBP. And first, as usual, we'll be talking about fundamentals before we move right down ahead to technicals, which is purely what we're going to be seeing on the chart. Now, we have noticed that Euro GBP has climbed to the 0.8700 and faced a recovery ahead of the Euro/UK inflation data. Euro GBP remains sidelined after bouncing off the 100 DMA on Monday. And the Bank of England's commentary says that the UK political jitters weigh on GBP ahead of the key UK CPI with a firmer EU data. Hawkish ECB speak keeps buyers hopeful, of course, as risk of further upside appears minimal as the Bank of England announces a guilt operations. Now, the Euro GBP buyers struggle with a short-term key hurdle surrounding the 0.8700 threshold ahead of the key inflation data from the UK and the Eurozone on Thursday. In doing so, the cross-currency pairs faced the weak start bounce off ahead the 100 DMA amid mixed clues. Of course, the UK-inspired optimism appears to fade amid a fresh political plot to topple Prime Minister Liz Truss and recall ex-leader Boris Johnson, of course. And even so, it has been mentioned that the British Prime Minister Liz Truss has warned of tough times ahead after she scrapped her vast tax-cutting plan and said she would carry on to try to put the economy on a stronger footing, defying calls for her resignation. Now, what impact, of course, is this going to have on the Euro GBP? We are seeing a gradual push down, and we are hoping most likely to the most recent support zone at 0.86455, or maybe an extension to 0.85876, depending how the market falls through. So if we were to have our trade run entered at this point and hits this landmark, which is about 80 pips from that entry point, we are looking at nothing less than 80 pips, of course, which is good money. So pushing that, we have to hit this landmark and then a push up back to the upside. Are you getting? So with all this being said and done, we are obviously having a push up to the upside, and of course, it's an alternative scenario. But the most likely thing to happen is to get to this pivot point of 0.86152 and most likely push down to this part if possible, making it 100 pips plus. So if we were to make an entry to this trade at this point and let our trade run up to here, being our TP1, we're looking at 50 pips at 0.86400. And an extension to this point, we are looking at 86 pips at 0.85977, of course, which is good money. That's our technical analysis on today's currency pair, Euro GBP. Now let's move over to the stock markets. Right now, back to the stock markets. Today, we'll be having a look at Adobe. And we can notice why Adobe shares are rising during today's after-hours session. And this is exactly because we have seen that the Adobe share incorporation has been trading higher by 3.28% to 302.5 cents, $302.05. And during today's after-hours session, after the company reaffirmed its current fourth quarter fiscal year 2022 financial targets and provided preliminary financial target for fiscal year of 2023. Now, we could be asking what happened. Ahead of the Adobe Max Creativity Conference, the company guided FY23 sales as low as $19.1 billion or as high as $19.3 billion versus the analyst consensus estimate of $19.82 billion. Adobe also sees adjusted EPS as low as $15.15 or as high as $15.45 versus the analyst consensus estimate of $15.53. Our strategy to empower everyone to imagine and express their ideas, of course, create the world's best content and applications and power personalized digital experiences represents a massive market opportunity that will drive Adobe's next decade of growth. Now, this, of course, is going to have a push back to the upside, and we're looking at the most recent resistance at 306.73. And if this, of course, can hit this landmark, we know it's going to cover this huge gap within time, which reads about 842 pips from that point, of course, which is good money. So if we were to make an entry now and let your trade run into this point, you're looking at nothing less than 163 pips, which of course is good money. And that's our technical analysis on today's stock market, Adobe. I remain your host, Nick. Bye for now.